you are screwed. There is no other way to say it. The credit card debt is the worst financial decision that you can make.
Okay. But they actually tore my L4, L5
Whoa.
disc and herniated the disc right above it and right below it. Then government just had to retire me because I was basically just disabled.
It's a fortune. It's almost 15% of your income
Right.
that goes into the 2 lunch and the 3 cups of coffee. No. We can't have that. You cannot afford this.
Okay.
If you decide to go this route, in 20 years, you're going to still be working.
Okay.
Welcome to Finance Action. My name is Romain, and together we'll dive into someone's personal finances, learning from their stories and taking action for their financial future. Follow me along as we discover the story of James. James, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So James, let's look at your profile. You are 40 years old. You're originally from the state of Washington. You currently live in Seattle and you work as a project manager in construction. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Now, as always, an icebreaker for our show is to understand the way you've ranked your personal finances from chilling to Mayday. You've rated yourself as surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your story and who is James?
Sure, I can do that.
Awesome.
So, out of high school, I started working for the Department of Defense, military, doing some weapons R&D. Did that for about 7 years, almost 8. And at the end of a weapons test, we were out on a boat for a full week. So I was out there for about 65 hours. On a Friday, we were coming back. Long week, we're all tired. We had to cross a barge to get onto to the dock to actually go home, and there was some old pallets and stuff of boxes of old weapons and stuff, and they weren't secured properly when I was climbing up, and they were actually secured to the ladder. And when I accidentally pulled on it in the wrong way, they shifted, and they collapsed actually, and they hit my shoulder, causing a little bit of damage to my neck, but they actually tore my L4, L5 disc and herniated the disc right above it and right below it. Did a little bit of physical therapy, but then government just had to retire me because I was basically just disabled. So they sent me home and said, you can't work for us anymore.
Oh, okay. What a start. Okay, so after that, how old were you when that incident took place?
I was 25.
So 25, you're on a ship, an accident comes with heavy weapons, and you become disabled. How did that transition?
I mean, it was pretty abrupt. I mean, I was really active. I was a 25-year-old guy in America, and then it went from being able to earn a living, get around, do simple chores around the house, to not even be able to get out of bed without help, having to walk around with a walker. I mean, at that time, doctors were just prescribing pain medication like it was candy. So I was not only was I not able to get around, but my mind was completely, in a different place. So it was a pretty bad situation.
Well, first, thank you for your service, James. And second, 25 years old, you have a life-changing event. Mm-hmm. So for 13 years, were you like stuck to a bed?
I would say about 18 hours a day I was in bed. And another 5 hours I would be like doing physical therapy, going to medical appointments, or sometimes I would just be, I would sit like in a bath for an hour just because the pain was so bad.
Okay, shifting very briefly out of the finance component, but how do you deal with this mentally?
I mean, I had a girlfriend at the time, and I would say she stuck around for about 8 months.
Okay.
But I don't blame her. I mean, I was an asshole. I mean, I went from, and it was really hard. So, every small thing, I would take it out on her, verbally, small things. Mm-hmm. And so, it was rough, and probably I'm 10 years into it before I actually realized, I need to get therapy to help, cope with that, that issue, the accident that happened.
Wow. Okay, and so for those 13 years, were you able to work?
Not really, no. I mean, the government provides some assistance, obviously, for people that get injured, but basically I was just living off the kindness of family.
Okay, and I guess then that kind of makes a little bit more sense as to the amount of debt that you've stacked up over the past couple of years. It's pretty much from having to live in this life where kind of unable to work for 13 years, right?
Right.
Okay. 2021 though, you are finding a new job and now you work as a project manager in construction. Okay, that's
right.
cool. Now a new beginning. How like from 0 to 100? How back are you to, let's say, a good condition where you feel good?
I would say right now I'm about 90%.
Okay.
And which is, it's really good compared to what I was even
Wow.
3 years ago.
Okay, cool. So let's start actually with our first section in our podcast here, which looks at your income and assets. So your income, project manager, how much do you make?
It's about $25 an hour.
Okay. How many hours a week?
So it's about 28. I mean, if you take the lunches out,
28, okay. So that brings a monthly income of about $2,000 net per month.
That's about right. It might be a little more than that. Sometimes I work 35 hours for certain projects, but it's usually 28.
Okay.
I'd say it's about $2,300 after
Okay,
tax.
$2,300. Okay, so that brings your yearly annual income to about $40,000 per year.
Okay.
Now, if we compare that against the median in the United States for people ranging between 35 and 44 years old, the median is at 61,000.
Okay.
So you are in the 50% that makes lower than the median in the United States. Okay, we'll need to see how we can get that to the next level, hopefully, as we go through some of the recommendations. But next point, are you expecting any money or any lump sum coming in the next couple of months?
I mean, tax return, I would expect to get
okay, nice.
a couple $1,000 there.
How much are you expecting?
I would say 2,000, maybe 2,200.
Okay, cool. Now I take that into account. Any other lump sums? Any other payments? Anything?
Not coming up, no.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on then to your assets. We define assets as objects, the liquids, the cash that you have. Pretty much, it helps us understand your net worth.
Okay.
Thank you for providing us with some of your statements, James. And first, looking at your checking account, you have $1,300 on a checking account.
Right.
With fairly minimal transactions on it. Okay, you also have a saving account, $25.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you have any investment accounts?
I have one, like $200 in stock.
Okay, cool. Any other liquid accounts, like other checking accounts, any of that on that front?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Let's look a little bit at your transportation in your car. So you have a car.
I do have a car, yeah.
Nice. What car do you drive?
It's a 2020, I think, Hyundai Sonata.
Okay. How many miles?
Got about 26,000.
Okay, so fairly new. Did you buy the new?
I didn't buy it new. I got it recently, but I didn't buy it new. I got it in November.
Okay. And you have some debt on this, right?
I do have some debt, yeah. I got a loan on it.
Yes. So you have $13,600 of debt on it at an interest rate of 7.8%. Your monthly payment $351 per month. Well, I mean 7.8%. It's a tough interest. It's a tough interest. However, it is not abnormal in the current economic environment that we are in.
Okay.
So I have seen actually a couple of days ago, I spoke to some other individuals, and if you follow some of our other videos, you will see we have people that come with interest rates of up to 30% on cars. Crazy. Okay. So 7.8, I'm not alarmed yet. I just don't like it. You know,
I'm not thrilled
for
about
cars,
it.
you want to be around 4, 5 max, maybe. Okay, 7.8. All right, we'll take that into account. However, looking at the Katie Blue Book value for it, which means that the value if you were to sell that car today, that car is worth about $23,500.
Oh, it's about 10 more than I owe.
Exactly. So you have equity of about $10,000 on this car. Okay. So that brings your total amount of assets, total value of what you own at $11,500.
Okay.
All right. Let's put that aside and let's move on to a little bit more tricky subject. Your expenses and your debt. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So first, we would like to start off. How much do you pay for housing in Seattle?
I pay about $300 for my
Okay,
rent, which I
very
know is
nice.
going to make a lot of people mad if they live in the Seattle area.
Yeah, but, so how do you pay $300? You're living with family, I guess?
Yeah, I live in family. I rent a room from family, so
Okay, cool. Fairly stable accommodation on that?
yeah, it's stable for sure.
Okay, and that includes utilities and all that?
Yep,
and
all utilities except for my cell phone.
Okay, that's good. So that brings your housing expense to about 13% of your income.
Okay.
We like it to be below 28. I mean, $300 is an anomaly, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you have this, and it's saving you as we look at the rest of your debt.
Yeah.
So that's good on that front.
Okay.
Let's move it aside, and let's make sure you keep that as long as you can, okay? All right, moving on to the second thing, your transportation expense. And again, as we discussed previously, you are driving that Sonata, which is costing you $350 per month, assuming on gas about
$250 probably.
$250. And I see that you're spending on your insurance from your statement about $80 per month on your insurance. That's
Yeah, that
pretty
sounds right.
good. That brings your transportation expense to 30%
That's a lot.
of your income.
Wow.
Okay. We want you to be at 15%, James.
Okay.
That's the sweet spot.
Mhm.
Okay. So hold on, as we'll be discussing in our recommendation sections, how we can maybe change a little bit that. Okay, because there is a play on this. And again, if you've been following some of the different stories, our goal in this channel is to understand real stories and provide, hopefully, the most adequate recommendations, no financial advice though, for people to use the cards that they have to either get them out of their solution or accomplish their goals. And that's what we're going to do with you, James. So I continue here as I identify the rest of your expenses. And you've put quite a bit of expense, my friend, on some of your credit cards here. Some of the most notable ones that I'm seeing is around ducks and teriyaki. You spend about $25 every day. You go there twice a week in those restaurants.
Yeah.
So what is this? Is that like kind of a treat that you allow yourself every week? What's going on there? I mean, 25, you're not going for the cheap, $10 meal.
Right.
You're going full right on this, huh?
Yeah, I am, and I agree. It's maybe not the smartest. I go with a couple guys from work, so it's kind of the project managers go together
Okay.
to do it. But
Right. Well, I have some thoughts on that.
Okay.
I will be discussing. Right now it's just not the most favorable given the rest of your debt. Okay, but you also have another obsession, my friend. It's the latte, the coffee illness, huh?
yeah, definitely.
Already one of the biggest financial burden in the United States. Stop with those damn coffees. They are destroying your financial future. But here, I see expenses, $8 here, $8, 3 times a week or so.
About 3 times a week, yeah.
Yep. Well, it's not again. You're spending here. I mean, look at this. Just briefly, identifying those 2 expenses on the side here per month. It's almost $300.
Oh, wow.
It's a fortune. It's almost 15% of your income
Right.
that goes into the 2 lunch and the 3 cups of coffee. No. We can't have that. But I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't like this.
Doesn't feel like 15% when I'm getting it.
Yeah, but you see 15%. Crazy.
Yeah.
Just a small expense. And you're like, oh yeah, eating coffee or just this. Okay, I can afford that. No. But looking at the rest of your expenses as well, I see that you're spending on kind of local dispensary about $100 a month. Okay. Is that necessary for you?
Yeah, I use that for pain usually at night.
Okay. And you are also stacking up on entertainment expenses. I mean, you're pretty much a subscriber to everything that exists.
Yeah, I definitely subscribe to too much for sure.
Okay. I mean, looking at your statement, you sum to about $80 on that.
Yeah, it's probably about 80. Yeah.
Okay. $80 worth of subscription, guys. No, okay. This also, please often look at the subscription that you have. This is a trick. It's a financial trick. They bring you into a kind of a free trial. There you go, 2 months. And then what do you have? Well, you have everybody that just forgets that the expense hits because it's just a couple dollars per month. And it's the whole system around gyms. But if gyms had every single members coming every month, there is no way they could accommodate for it.
Right.
You know that, right? They are betting on the fact that please come in, pay the annual fee. They lock you down on the annual fee. You know, it's beginning of the year, new resolution. Let's go, everybody, come in. They stand about 2 months, and the average time of the length someone keep their resolution for the new year is about 2 months,
Right.
and then they keep you at the back for a year. And you see people spending hundreds of dollars without even realizing, and then they come 3 years later and they're like, oh, you know, you spend $1,000 for the last 2 years on gym membership that you've been twice. No. Okay. So please have a look at some of your subscription.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to a little bit about your debt situation here. The rest of your expenses I feel are fairly normal. I'm not seeing any anomaly other than, you know, maybe your phone, like $110 a month on your phone.
It's like a monthly fee to actually, like, to buy the phone. You know, they get you like that, so.
Yeah, $110. I mean, it's just fun fact. If you go to France, it's about $10. Okay, here the cost of phones and communication in the United States is horrendous. It's a joke.
Okay.
But you know, all of those little expenses, you would be surprised. They're bringing you down. And I mean, 40 years old, you're fairly close to retirement, and we want to shift a little bit or at least be more mindful on that. Okay. All right. Looking at some of your debt. Let's start with credit card debt.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have about $7,500 worth of credit card debt here at an interest rate of 25%.
Right.
What is going on with this?
I mean, a little bit of it was before I got into a car accident, my car had broken down last September, so I had to get some work done. It was almost $2,000, so that was part of that. And
so that's the car accident is kind of how you build equity on your car. Is that what you would say?
Yeah. So car accident. Yeah. So I got in a car accident in October, and they gave me a little bit of money for the car, which gave me the down payment for the Hyundai, which was nice because I needed a vehicle to actually get to work. I did have to pay to repair the car beforehand when it got to the accident, which did cost me $2,000 beforehand. So.
Okay. Did you get a good amount of money from the medical complications that the accident got you?
I mean, they paid for my physical therapy, chiropractor, but they gave me like $1,800 for loss of motor or whatever they called it.
Did you get a lawyer?
No, I just went through my insurance. My insurance talked to their insurance. And
Oh, no. Okay. Just personal stories. 5 years ago, I'm in Vegas driving towards to go to soccer. Okay. I drive, nice. I go through the green light. Boom! Someone hits me at 45 on my side. Okay, I get into a concussion coma for 3 days.
Oh wow!
The guy not only had a DUI, so was driving under influence, but also couldn't care less. And the next day, post on Facebook, hey, new accident, and so on.
Wow!
Guess what? The guy was uninsured, underinsured, no insurance.
Oh jeez!
Holy smokies! So number one, the medical debt that I received, $150,000 from the hospital, and I'm like, what the heck? And I can't go against the guy because the dude has nothing.
Right.
At home, please thank me later. If you have car insurance, make sure that the uninsured, underinsured portion of your car insurance match your bodily injury. Okay?
Okay.
You don't want 100,000, 300 on your bodily injury and peanuts on your underinsured, underinsured. If I didn't have that uninsured, underinsured, I would have been screwed. That's it. I'm done. Because I have hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical in the back. So if you get into a car insurance and you are hurt, get a lawyer. And if it's their fault, make them pay. I'm sorry about that. Like if someone is bumping you at the back and it's like, just inattention, no. It's not worth that. Be courteous. Everybody makes mistake. If the guy burns a damn red light and hits you because he's drunk, screw them. I'm going behind you, okay? So for stuff like that, always consider taking a lawyer. They're gonna best. And also, just a fun fact, when your car gets totaled, negotiate with the insurance. They're gonna lowball you like no tomorrow on the value of your car. Give them a comp of what you have. This is what you need to know at home, okay? This is the good stuff on those discussions. You need to negotiate with your insurance when your car gets totaled. The goal is to give you as low as they can. Negotiate with them. Give them the same type of cars that are selling in your area. Hopefully go for the ones that are overpriced. Show them the comp and be like, hey, dude, this is the value of my car. What the heck are you guys giving me, 20, 30% less? Okay, so 1,800 is not going to change your life. It allows you to build equity on your car. We'll be discussing about that later. But sorry, I was a little bit heated on that because, man, those car accidents, especially when it's like not your fault and you get hit by dummies. Anyway, $7,000 worth of credit card debt still. You know, what else? Like you're spending this money right now because some of the expenses are fairly recent.
I mean, just clothes or just expenses that, you know, I had to... There was some charge for like 600 early this year that was just you know, out of nowhere.
No more. You're done.
Okay.
No more credit card debt. Please, please. 40 years old. Today, your goal number one is going to make sure that in 20 or so years, you're set. Okay? If you're stuck to get into the credit card mindset like this, you are screwed. There is no other way to say it. The credit card debt is the worst financial decision that you can make.
Okay.
There is no other way around that. And we'll be discussing that in the money case segment because I want you two guys to realize how much of it's a pain to have credit card, and we do not want that. If you cannot control your spending with credit card, you take the damn card, you cut it, you don't use it. If you don't have the money, James, you don't use it. Please follow me on this.
Okay.
I'm seeing people with tens of thousands of dollars of credit card debt and they can't go back to it. And then they're stuck and digging themselves even if they try to make effort, it's very tough after to get out of this. Okay. You are also collecting collections.
Well, I wish I was collecting them. They're trying to collect them from me.
Yeah, but you have a little bit of a collection of those. About here's $75,000 of mortgage. What?
Yeah, so when I was working for the government before I got injured, I had bought a couple of houses and was renting them to people. So, you know, I had another source of income back then.
Nice.
I got injured 2007, and then, as a lot of people might remember, 2008 was the housing financial crisis. And my banks decided, you know what, these houses just they're upside down. You're not paying us. All my renters, you know, they lost their jobs, so I didn't have any tenants. So I didn't have the income to pay both, you know, these mortgages, and so they just foreclosed, and they were really upside down on the actual mortgage.
Okay, so it's been what, 15 years or so?
It's been 15 years, and they, I mean, I'm sure they'd like all their money, but they send me a form saying, hey, if you give us like 12 grand, you know, we'll just take it away, but.
From 75 grand to 12 grand now. Yeah. Let's go. Okay.
I mean, it's a good deal, but I don't have 12 grand, obviously, to give them.
15 years, I mean, what? Collections, they drop off your credit report after 7 years. That's the case,
I think,
right?
In Washington State, it's 7 years, yeah.
Okay, so is that impacting you in any way?
It really only impacts me when I went in to, like, ask about a loan, a mortgage, and the loan officer
so
immediately found them. Yeah, he can see it, and obviously makes banks a little nervous.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, look, right now you're not in a position to do that. Let's just wait on those, okay? After 15 years, the fact that they still send you letters, like, they're like, this is the account that it's impossible to collect from this guy. Okay, you have another type of collection, medical debt collection, $13,000. When does that date from?
That's like 2008 through 2011. Well. Yeah, so it's over a span. Hospitals, physician groups for different surgeries and stuff early on.
Okay. Are they reaching out?
They haven't in a while.
Oh.
They've never like said, hey, just pay us this, but it's been probably almost 2 years since I've heard anything. I've always had kind of a fear that they would garnish my wages or something.
Okay.
I mean, they couldn't before because they can't. You're not legally allowed to garnish Social Security.
Okay.
But,
good to know.
But they can garnish, obviously, normal wages. So
I see.
They may just not know that I'm working now or...
Okay. So, controversial subject. Collection. If they don't call you, and if you are not ready to pay or you don't have anything to pay, just... I'm not going to be in trouble for saying this. Don't call them. Don't call them yet, because if you appear back on their list... then you're back on the wheel, okay? At some point, I want maybe for us to start thinking about how to tackle those, but it probably shouldn't be your priority right now. They're not costing you anything per month, right?
Correct, right, yeah.
Okay. You have other debt that maybe take more presidency on this. So so just collection very briefly. Collection again is a negotiating game. Okay. So for example, let's look at your mortgage. All right. So you started at $75,000, and then so the bank cannot collect from you. So a collection agency is going to buy that for cents to the dollars, maybe $30,000. Okay. And their goal is to collect from you as much as they can. And then what's going to happen is after, a couple years, they're like, well, this guy is awful. We're never going to collect from him. Now it get bought by another collection agency for like $15,000. And then it get bought. So maybe right now, the debt that your collection is asking you for, they potentially bought that for like $3,000 to $4,000. Okay? So what that means? That means that you can negotiate on collection. It's a negotiation. And the people that you speak to in collection, they have an idea of how much they paid for. So, I mean, I'm not gonna, say a couple percentages, but I mean, everything is to negotiation. If someone tells you 12, you're like, there you go, I have 6, 6, and we close. But for now, let's not tap into this first. You have crazy amount of credit card debt that's definitely more pressing, and it's hurting you incredibly right now. So let's put the collection aside. Okay. So quite a bit of debt, my friend, here at 4 years old, with a fairly low amount of net worth, to be honest. So that brings me actually to my next segment on our show, which I'm sure you will find it very interesting, which is the money case. And we are back for the money case segment. For your case, looking at your situation, James. And here I want to take something that is a little bit more broad, especially for all our audience and yourself. I want to highlight what is one of the worst financial decisions that people in America make. And that is credit card debt. And so when you think about making your next purchase and you put it towards a debt, I want to highlight what does that cost you every year, okay? So let's say, James, you want to buy a new option for your car, okay? And it's going to cost you $1,000. You put that $1,000 on your credit card, and you decide, oh, you know what, it's okay, I'm going to pay it next year. That $1,000 is going to cost you at the 25% interest $250.
Wow.
$250 is what that $1,000 of credit card debt is going to cost you this year. So multiply this easy. Next year, you don't pay it. It's $500. You don't pay next year, $750. And next year, $1,000. You can, and for many people that stacks credit card debt over and over, they don't realize it. But sometimes, if you stack those for years, you end up paying 2 times the amount that you've put on that card.
Right.
And there is no financial investment that can fight this. If you invest into, look, guys, there is, but they are so risky that, you can always invest into a shitcoin and then, be a part of the Dogecoin crew or the Wall Street Beats on Reddit, go to the moon, and then you end up, being one of the losers at the bottom. Anyway, all to say, this is how much $1,000 of credit card is going to cost you per year. But guess what? This $250, this, my friend, is how much today you are paying on interest per month.
Wow.
You are paying more than 10% of your income on bank fees that are generating zero to you. Zero. You're throwing this money to the garbage. So, my friend, if you want to make a couple throw here as you're throwing this money in the garbage every month.
Feels a lot more real when I'm doing it like this.
It's true. You see what I mean? And that is the concept of credit cards. Oh, it's virtual. Oh, it's okay. It's next month. No, you have the cash in hands. You pay. That now it's a different story. Now you see the impact of your action. Okay? So we are back after the money case and the amount of interest that is spent on nothing per month. Okay? We are done with that, no more. And so let's move to our recommendation sections. This is no financial advice. This is purely what I would do if I was in your position with everything that we've discussed together. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. Number one, as any show, we identify your needs. Your needs is the minimum amount of money that you need to survive per month. In your case, looking at rent, phone, car, insurance, food component. If you do grocery, I'm not accounting for your lunch. And some of the entertainment component, I'm actually including the weed for you because, of medical background. This sums to about $1,600 per month.
Okay.
This is assuming that you're not spending your minimum payment on your credit cards. Actually, if we account for the minimum payments on your credit cards, you're more at around $2,000 per month.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of it, again, is coming from your credit cards, minimum payment that you have to assume, okay? That you've not been paying. I see that you've been paying $25 last month. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're just destroying yourself by not paying those, okay? So we'll be taking that into account. This represents almost 80% of your income.
Okay. Wow.
We want it to be at 50.
50.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
But that is because your income is not as high as we would like it to be, and also because you're paying a lot of money on those credit cards.
Yeah.
And you're sinking yourself without even realizing it, okay? I mean, as we illustrated, already about 10% of your income is going into garbage. Second point, your wants. So I'm a person that looks at realistic scenarios. I'm not going to come here and say, hey, eat ramen noodles for the next 6 years and you're going to be okay. It's not going to be realistic. So for your wants, I'm giving you $100 a month.
Okay.
And that is for your restaurant and for your lattes. $100. So you were at 284. You need, no matter what, to come down to 100. I'm sorry to say, but you cannot afford this.
Okay.
If you decide to go this route, in 20 years, you're going to still be working.
Okay.
The only way for you to get out of the financial spot that you are in, you're going to have to make efforts. You just can't pull it out with the situation that you are in. Okay? Because right now, with regards to the amount of money that you save per month, zero.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Zero. And you have little assets. You're not riding on $500,000 that you can just invest and be okay on the side for when retirement comes, okay?
Right.
Retirement is coming fairly soon for you, mate. And you don't have as much time as a 20 years old. So I want you to shift that mindset. Okay. You can no longer live like someone that is 20 years old, okay? So what do? 1, cut the BS spend that we've discussed together, okay? You're decreasing that to $100.
Okay.
2, the car. You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
I have to sell it. You want me to sell it?
You have to sell it. It's 30% of your income, and it's too much of a high expense for how much you're making. And you have about $10,000 of equity of value. So if you sell the car, you have $10,000 in your pocket. I need you to sell that car. I'm sorry. I know it sucks, but you cannot pay such high payments on this car. You may think, but I have it's going to be reliable and so on. You can buy a $10,000 car that is reliable.
Maybe.
I mean, look, cars are my passion. I've had over 9 cars in the past 8 years, and I just love everything about cars. I'm making a very good income, but I'm driving a Ford Focus electric. That is costing me $0 per month.
Okay.
It's costing me $60 worth of insurance per month. I'm not spending a cent on gas because I'm charging at free stations. Now, I don't want you to be that frugal or that. But there are very strong brands, and I can tell you, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Honda. I'm not sponsored. I don't care. People, this is my own recommendation. You can buy a Mitsubishi Mirage. Okay, it's going to give you 45 miles per gallon for $8,000. That's less than 40,000 miles. And I used to have one, and it's been one of the cars that's been the most reliable that I've ever owned.
Really? Okay.
And it's going to cost you peanuts. on gas, peanuts on maintenance, and it's very easy to have parts too. Now, this can be the same for like Toyota Yaris, Toyota Corollas. Those are jackpots. You can run the Toyota Prius. Those you can run them to 250,000 miles, no problem.
Yeah.
So there is no excuse. I guarantee you, and I can even provide you recommendations after the end of a call, that I will find you a car less than $10,000 that you're not going to spend money on, you're not going to spend much on maintenance, and it's going to bring you to A to B, no problem. Instead of sinking yourself in cars like this.
Yeah.
Going to my next point, which is pay down those credit cards ASAP. ASAP.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
If I sold the car,
Yeah.
okay, so let's just say it was $8,000,
Okay.
which is more than my credit card debt.
Okay.
So would you recommend
No.
spending on a car or credit card debt?
No, I need you to get transportation. I need you to be able to go to work.
Right. Okay.
Having transportation, except if you live in New York or cities that have public transport that are exceptionals, because here I want you to start thinking about how can you increase your income potential.
Okay.
Look, very simple things. You're only working 33 hours a week. Buy yourself a decent car that's giving you a good miles per gallon and start doing Uber at night. Uber Eats, anything. You're 40 years old, my friend. And I want you to start thinking about, well, shoot, in 20 years, I want to be done with work. I'm done with this.
Okay.
I don't want you to be working at 65 again. So your whole vision has to shift, okay? And so any money that you are doing right now, I want you to start thinking about my future. Not today, not the cafe, not the latte, my future. If you get the equity on the car, buy yourself another one. Take the time, do your own research, go on Facebook Marketplace, find a car on it, contact a mechanic that's going to do an inspection for you at the time that you buy the car. The mechanic is going to cost you between 100 and 150, so you're not buying a lemon, and negotiate with the dude.
Okay.
Sweet. So, next thing, the $2,200 of IRS payment that you're going to receive from tax return. You don't see that money, it goes straight to your credit card.
Oh, okay.
So, altogether, I want you to save. And you should be able to do it fairly easily, to be honest. If you sell your car, this is the magic number for you. $600 a month.
$600 a month.
Yeah. So for the next couple of months, the entire amount of your saving, every single cent that you save, goes towards your credit card.
Okay.
And you don't use the credit cards anymore. It's a financial destruction.
Okay.
$7,500 worth of credit card debt, minus $2,200 of your IRS, that brings you to $5,300.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so $600 a month. That's I'm not accounting for the interest that's accumulated on it. Let's round that so that it's nice and clean. 8 months.
8 months. My credit cards are paid
8
off.
months. 8 months. So it's going to be very simple. In 8 months, James, I call you. I'm not joking.
Okay.
In 8 months, I call you. And I'm like, James, are you done with your damn credit cards? And you're going to tell me, I'm out of this.
Okay.
Because you have today everything working for you that you should be able to have this easy. 8 months. If you sell your car, if you do a little bit of DoorDash, if you're mindful with your BS expenses, 8 months you're out of credit card debt. And you never take credit card ever again. Once you're done with that, next step, emergency fund.
Okay.
If something arises, no matter what, at home as well, you need 3 to 6 months of your needs. We've identified together about $1,600. I'm going to put it at $10,000.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's no joke. This is Finance 101. This is how you build yourself for your future, okay? After you pay your credit card debt, every single cent you invest it into what is called a high yield saving account.
High yield, okay.
Okay, I'm going to write you that all at the end. But at home, high yield saving account is where you put your emergency fund.
Okay.
This is money that you're going to put aside that you're never going to touch.
Okay.
The only reason if you touch this, if something arises, your car breaks down, something an emergency, a medical emergency, something arises, this is where you go to. But this money doesn't exist. Okay? After that, you start saving for your retirement, my friend. And so what you can do is one of your short-term goals is to buy property and so on.
Right.
What you can do from that point, you've done with credit card debt, you've done with your emergency fund, you can split your investments into something maybe more real estate as your focus, and some of your Roth IRA, for example.
Oh,
For Roth IRA is about, you can max out to $6,000 per year,
okay.
and it's not taxable when you take out that money at retirement.
Oh, okay.
And there you are. There you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how you can retire. Because right now, let me tell you something, and this is going to be news to you.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming you can save $500 per month that you put aside for your retirement
Mm-hmm.
starting next year. By the time you're 64 years old,
Mm-hmm.
you will have $500,000 on your account
$500,000 in my savings and Roth. Wow.
in your retirement account.
Wow.
Because time is on, you're going to have 23 years of compound interest that's growing.
Mm-hmm.
But that is assuming that every month you put $500 on the side
Okay.
starting next year. And you invest it into something fairly basic like the S&P 500, which gives you back 10% per year.
Okay.
See, it's not crazy. You don't need to do rocket science to be decent for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You are in retirement at $500,000. If you manage that money well, you started late, you have tough events in your life,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult.
What do you think? Are you going to do it? Are you going to take action?
I'm going to try for sure. I mean, the lattes and the lunches, that'll be pretty easy to cut
Okay.
out. Selling the car will be a little more difficult.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to find a car that works, and then I'm going to have to find somewhere I can sell it that's going to give me money. But I mean, I did just get it, and it is reliable. So there's always that fear that something I get next is not going to be reliable. I mean, my last car I had to spend almost $2,000 right before.
Yeah,
I got
but
to
what
an
was
accident.
it? What were you
I mean, it
driving?
was a 20-year-old car at the time.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Sure.
The $350 that you're going to pay for the next, you still have 4 years on your account, right? 4 years on your debt?
Yeah.
Okay. So the sum of payments total is going to be around $60,000, okay?
Okay.
This is how much your loan, if you complete it at the current interest, is going to cost you,
Okay.
okay? So your car, my friend, if let's say, instead of spending that money on nothing, because your car is going to depreciate, you're not going to gain much value of it after the life of its time. I mean, you're going to be able to resell it, but it's a depreciating asset. The value goes down over time, okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So let's say you put that $16,000 in 4 years
Mm-hmm.
on an investment account, like your retirement, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of investing it on your car. The value on your retirement account when you open at the retirement age is going to be $110,000.
$110,000. Wow.
So this is the cost
Of that.
of not selling your car today.
It's expensive Sonata.
It's an expensive Sonata.
Yeah.
It's all about timing and how do you best adjust. If you're not dumb, you make your due diligence and you go the right way, as I presented before,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be fine.
Okay.
But you're telling me right now, oh, you know what? I'm okay. It's going to cost me $110,000 because I have, I've made a mistake 4 months ago and I'm not willing to take action on that mistake. It's $110,000 for that damn car.
Yeah.
You would have a ton of money on the side saved.
When you see it, like the car's going to be $110,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's money definitely I'd rather have at retirement than.
It's up to you, huh?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna look at selling the car.
Okay. What about kind of the general mindset? Do you feel like you followed along about everything here? Do you feel like it makes sense?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of it, like I said, it's hard to see it when you're in the moment. Like it's just $20, it's $25, only $8 latte. But when you look at it for a month or for the entire year and all the other expenses, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. All right, cool, mate. Well, I'm if you're shaking my hands and telling me that you're taking action on this in 8 months, I'm supposed to call you and ask you if you've done that. Do you shake my hand?
Yeah, I'll shake your hand.
Okay. I take notes after our meeting. I will put this in on my calendar and I call you back.
All right.
Awesome. Well, that kind of brings us to the end of our show here with you, James. Thank you very much for following along. We invite you to like and subscribe if you're interested. And I guess we'll be seeing you next time. À bientôt.